Your phone just buzzed again, did it not? Another email, another Slack notification, another emergency fire that you only want that can put out. You're driving between jobs and maybe you're sitting at your desk and your mind is like a spreadsheet with like 1,000 tabs open. You're thinking about the proposal you need to send, the client who's late on their payment, and the new hire you need to train, and that one weird software glitch that only you know how to fix it. You tell people you're busy. You might even be proud of it. In our culture, being slammed feels like a nickname for successful. You are the heart of the operations, the indispensable core of the business that you build with your own two hands. But let's be radically transparent for a second. In the quiet moment when the phone is buzzing, how does it actually feel? It feels like you're drowning. It feels like if you got sick for a week, the whole company would ground to a halt. It feels like you can't take a real vacation. Not one where you truly unplug, because you're the system. You're the bottleneck, and you have accepted the myth as an absolute truth. The idea that working 16 hours a day is a badge of honor. Today, we're going to prove that is the single biggest lie holding your business back from true scale and your life from true freedom. It is time to fire yourself from the laundry room. I'm Johnny Terra, and this is the Go Make a Dollar. Look, to understand this, I have to take you back to a place where it has nothing to do with accounting and everything to do with how you run in your company right now. Picture a damp, concrete floor laundry room in Plainview, Texas. It's about 10:30 at night on a Tuesday. The air is thick with the smell of that industrial strength bleach and that lingering sweat from 24 basketball jerseys. The quiet of the night is filled with that domestic symphony. The steady sloshing rhythm of the washer and that deep, heavy hum of an old dryer. At that time, I was the captain of my basketball team. I was doing that $1,000 hour job, leadership, strategy, setting the culture, calling the plays on the court. That was the highest value work I could possibly do for the team. But at 10:30 p.m., after practice, after my classes and after studying, I was also the guy in the laundry room hauling heavy wet mesh bags. I was washing the team's uniform just to make a few extra bucks for groceries. That was my $10 an hour job. I can still feel that damp heat coming off those dryers and the aching on my back from bending over those machines. My teammates, the guys that I'm supposed to be leading, were in the back of the dorms, resting, recovering, studying. They were focused on the high value work. And there I was, the captain, in the basement, surrounded by soap and smelly laundry, doing a job that anyone on campus could have done. That duality, it defined my early years. Grit was the only currency I had. But here's the trap that so many of us fall into. Because that grit got us started, we think it is the blueprint for how to operate forever. We carry that same exact mindset into our companies. We become the team captain who insists on washing the jerseys. Now, I need to address something here because your brain might be playing a very clever trick on you. You might be hearing this and but thinking about, Johnny, what about servant leadership? A good leader is willing to get their hands dirty. And you are absolutely right. But your brain is using that noble concept to disguise a deep-seated fear of letting go. True servant leadership isn't about personally doing every low-value task. It is about doing what is best for the team. You serve your people more by navigating the company's future than by personally scheduling their meetings. You build a better future for them by doing the visionary work, not the busy work. I didn't have that language for it back then, and the truth was right there in that laundry room, humming under that fluorescent light. A truth that took me another decade to fully understand. You cannot lead the team if you're stuck in the laundry room. You are the one sorting the socks. You cannot be the one looking at the horizon. There's a saying in the corporate world that every entrepreneur should tattoo on their foreheads. If you are indispensable, you are unpromotable. In our world, it means that you cannot scale. Your to-do list is not a measure of your worth. It is a measure of your inefficiency. Your identity has become so wrapped up in being that guy who does it all that you have forgotten what your real job is: to build a machine that does the work so you don't have to. If you do not build a machine, you will be that machine forever. And a machine can scale. It can only break down. So how do we get out of that laundry room It starts with a process I call the Elimination Audit. It is the foundational system for reclaiming your time and forcing you to focus only on high-value work. It is built on a simple 3-step framework: eliminate, automate, and delegate. But before you can use the framework, you have to be brutally honest about where your time is actually going. You need to conduct a forensic time audit for just one day. Track everything you do in your business, every phone call, every email, every task. Just write it down. From there, I want you to categorize every single action into one of 3 buckets. Bucket number 1 is the $1,000 hour work. That is strategy, high-level sales, building key relationships, and creating systems. It is the work only you can do. You are being the captain. Bucket number 2 is the $100 an hour work. That is project management and the executions of your core services. It's the work you love and the reason you started the business in the first place. This has been the point guard of your basketball team. And bucket number 3 is the $10 an hour work. That is everything else. Sending invoice reminders, scheduling appointments, fixing a typo on the website, or uploading a social media post. This is the laundry. Once you see it in black and white that you are spending 80% of your day on the laundry, you're ready for the framework. You go down on your list of $10 an hour tasks and you ask 3 questions in this order. First, can I eliminate it? We are addicted to the tasks that feel productive but produce no real value. Are you in the meetings that could have been an email? Are you creating reports that nobody reads? The goal of a great business isn't to do more work. It is to achieve more results with less work. If it doesn't make $1 or serve the vision, kill it. Second, can I automate it? If it can't be eliminated, can a machine do it for you? And in today's world, the answer is almost always yes. Client scheduling, following up on proposals, or sending invoice reminders should all be handled by software. Every hour you spend on those repetitive rule-based tasks is an hour you're stealing from your strategy work. And bucket number 3 is, can I delegate it? This is that final and most terrifying step. We tell ourselves it is just faster if I do it myself. This is a trap. It is the thinking that keeps you small. You spend 1 hour today training someone to do a task that takes you 10 minutes each week. Yeah? In the short term, you lost 50 minutes, right? But in the long term, that 1 hour investment buys back 10 minutes every single week for the rest of your life. That's an ROI of freedom. And I know what your brain is doing right now. It is putting a roadblock I call the perfectionist trap. You think that because you can't delegate all of your tasks perfectly, you should just keep doing them yourself. Because you can't get 100%. You stay at 0. Look, but at Go Make $1, we live by the Marine Corps 70% rule. If you have 70% of the information and 70% of the plan, you go. A 70% solution that is implemented today is infinitely more valuable than 100% perfect plan that only lives in your head. When you delegate, use a simple 3-step model. I do it, you watch, you do it, I watch, then you go do it. Okay? This is how you train someone to wash the laundry your way. This is how you build a system that protects your competence and buys back your time. When you commit to the elimination audit, the chaos starts to recede. That constant buzz on your phone gets quieter. You stop thinking about the next fire and you start thinking about the next opportunity. You finally have that mental space to be the captain again. Freedom isn't about sitting on the beach. It is about having control over your time and your attention. So here's my challenge to you this week. Action over theory. Perform a 1-day forensic time audit. Track everything you do. Then at the end of the day, put a $10, $100, or $1,000 value next to each task. Find the laundry in your business, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's your first step of getting free. Remember, grit gets you started, but systems will get you free. I'm Johnny Terra. Let's get to work. Now that you have your time back, we need to look at the engine. Most of you are losing 18% of growth to the clarity penalty you don't even know it exists. I'll explain exactly what that is and how an orange cobalt cost me a fortune in the next video.